That's really cool.
Yeah, do you think the eagles know we can see them?
I don't know, maybe.
Hello, my friends.
Oh, hey, Archibald.
I happen to know personally. The eagles don't know you're watching. You see, Raptor Resource Project has special cameras up in their nest tree, and those cameras allow us to see what the eagles are up to day and night.
How big are the cameras?
They're up in the tree.
How big is the camera? How many cameras are there?
Wow, that's a lot of questions, and really good ones too. I think I'll get my friend John to answer them for you. He knows a lot about these cameras, and he's a mighty smart guy. There he is. John, please introduce yourself.
I'm John Howe with the Raptor Resource Project.
John, I've got some friends here who have some questions about the Nest cameras. I thought you might be able to answer them. Let's start with your first question.
How did the cameras get up in the tree?
It's a really good question. So, to get the cameras up into the tree, first we have to get up into the tree ourselves. The way that we do that is by shooting a rope up into the tree, and then the weight falls down, and then we use that system to get up in the tree and climb. We always use our safety gear, so we'll have a helmet on, safety glasses, all our good safety equipment. We'll attach this rope to our gree climbing equipment, and then we head up the tree to get the cameras and lift them up.
That's super neat. Can you tell us a little bit more about the cameras?
We use a variety of different types of cameras and sizes of cameras. I'm going to show you a couple of those. Here's one that we call a fixed camera because it just points in one direction and it really doesn't move. Once we put it up and anchor it in the tree, it looks down, and typically we're pointing this at the nest. The other one that we use that gives us some of the best pictures is what we call the pan tilt zoom camera. It's a little bit larger, and we use this larger camera. It's bigger because it's got more functionality. It's what we call a PTZ, or a pan tilt zoom camera. It will pan from side to side. It will tilt up and down. And actually there's a little motor in there that will zoom in and focus the zoom control. It actually even has its own windshield wiper, so for cleaning.
Where are the cameras?
Most of them are up in the nest tree because that's where most of the activity is. That's where the branches in the nest are made, that's where the eggs are laid, that's where the hatching and the feeding of the young happen. So most of the cameras that we have are up in the nest tree itself.
How many cameras are in this location, John?
At the fish hatchery nest, the Decor Eagles, we've got 3 cameras up in the nest tree, and those pretty much document everything that's happening up in the nest. And then we've also got the Y branch area with the old nest N1, which is across the highway, and we've got 3 cameras up there too.
How does power get to the camera?
Power the cameras in a couple different ways. One of the ways that we use, which is probably the most economical, costs the least, is to just bring power from a local residence, and we've got a lot of partners that work with us. So if they've got a house or a garage that's not too far away from the eagle nest in this case, we'll just go with power at the location. The other way that we power the cameras up if we don't have a power source from a home or a residence is to put in solar panels. So we'll power our panels from the sun, and the way that we store that energy, that current, electrical current, so we can power the cameras, is to put batteries on site. Then those batteries power the cameras, and again they will go up to the camera through a cable, up a tree, or wherever the camera is. In most cases it's the eagle nest tree. Sometimes we've got the visitor center camera up on the top of a roof, whatever the case might be.
Does it bother the eagles to have the camera there?
We've tested basically different sizes of cameras, and the answer to that is we really don't see that it bothers them. Eagles have really keen eyesight, really good eyesight, and they've got great hearing. So what they will notice is they can hear some things, like the cameras have a little fan in them and they can hear some of those things. So when a little clicking noise or something happens, and we'll see them react. And over the years we've really seen that even the size of the camera, some of the little noises that go along with them don't seem to bother them. Actually, they're pretty photogenic, and usually they'll look right at the camera and they will not really do much. It seems like they're posing for the camera.
What happens if something goes wrong with the cameras?
There's a number of things that can happen to the cameras. These are powered by electricity, so electrical strike can hit the camera and damage it. A lot of things can happen. So weather and power surges with electricity and things like that can damage a camera. What else can happen to a camera? This is an old one that we've taken down, but we've had the case where squirrels or other, mostly squirrels, will chew on this cable, and if they chew on the cable that's carrying the power or the video, then we're going to have troubles with that camera. So probably the biggest strategy is to have multiple cameras and have a backup. Other things happen too, because we're up in an eagle's nest. They will do their normal business, which we call it poop shoot, but when they squirt that out of the nest, they typically try to do it out of the nest, and the wind sometimes will spray that right across the camera face. So in the case here where we don't have a little wiper, we have to wait until the rain washes that lens clean, and it might never wash it clean. We've had years where we basically have lost a camera because it was painted over with Eagle poop shoot. That's where the wiper, windshield wiper on the cameras, on some of the PTZ cameras, comes into play and is handy.
So how are they fixed?
So if it's a lightning strike or something like that, it will usually take out the weakest point in the system. And fortunately for lightning strikes, one of those is the power supply. And the power supply is not up in the tree. It's actually down at the base of the tree and quite a ways away. So we can access it when the eagles are there and not bother them. So we can replace that power supply. In the case of the mutes or the poop shoot getting on the camera lens, in that case, we either have to let Mother Nature take care of it by washing it off with rain, or it's going to have to wait until September when we get up there to do the maintenance on the cameras.
Who controls the cameras?
I've been running the cameras. We've got volunteers that work for Raptor Resource Project, moving the cameras around. We also have volunteers from Explore.org, our partner, with our webcams, our Eagle cams, and our Falcon cams. So who controls the cameras? It's pretty much anybody who wants to do it that we've partnered with, and we've got people that are pretty much across the US that help us run these cameras and pan them around. And also we've got a couple that have worked, one of them right now over in Europe, which is over in Denmark area. So pretty much anywhere where there's an internet connection.
What do they do to run the cameras?
We actually can use at Command Central, there's actually a joystick control that we can pan, tilt, and zoom the cameras with that joystick control. But since I was mentioning that our camera operators are pretty much all across the country, we've got some in California, Oregon, Ohio, Florida, all over the place. One over in Europe, as I mentioned. So all we need basically is an internet connection and a laptop or a cell phone. So how do we do that? The cameras are connected to the internet, and we can log in to them through the internet. I can actually control the camera. I can see the screen. Here's what the camera is seeing of the eagle nest. And then we have the joystick controls here, the little arrows to go to the sides, up and down, or to zoom in. So basically a laptop computer, anywhere that you've got an internet connection, or even a cell phone, I can log in and make changes on the cameras, pan, tilt, zoom them, turn them on and off, or decide which one that we want to show.
There's so much to know. Thanks for stopping by, John.
It's been really great answering your questions today. Thanks for learning through the eagles, and it's such an exciting thing to watch them, isn't it? Thanks for joining in, and have a great learning experience.
We are so fortunate to have people like you involved in research and conservation. Hope you had fun, friends. Keep learning and keep asking questions. Bye.